The night before, Sandu had entered the camp later than usual. Satrakin had lain very still, waiting patiently for it to begin feeding on an infirm Romani. He felt revulsion and remorse, and prayed for forgiveness, but it was a necessary part of his plan, for the half-gorged creature would be less alert. The blue light of impending dawn filtered through the small grated windows at the end of the barracks, just what Satrakin had been waiting for. He pricked his index finger, drawing a perfect crimson pearl out of his dry flesh. Yet he was completely unprepared for what happened next. He had never heard the thing utter a sound. It conducted its unholy repast in utter silence. But now, the smell of young Satrakian's blood, the thing groaned. The sound reminded Satrakian of the creaking sound of dry wood when twisted over the sputter of water down a clogged drain. In a matter of seconds, the thing was at Satrakian's side. As the young man cautiously slid his hand back, reaching for the stake, the two locked eyes. Satrakian couldn't help but turn toward it when it moved near his bed. The thing smiled at him.
"Hey, kid. Seems to be fed. Looking into living eyes,"
the thing said.
"Angels."
Its breath smelled of earth and of copper. Its tongue clicked in its mouth. Its deep voice sounded like an amalgam of many voices, poured forth as though lubricated by human blood. "Sardu," whispered Satrakian, unable to keep the name to himself. The beady, burnished eyes of the thing opened wider, and for a fleeting moment they looked almost human.
"He is not alone in this body,"
it hissed.
"How dare you call to him?"
Satrakian gripped the stake behind his bed, slowly sliding it out. "A man has the right to be called by his own name before meeting God," said Satrakian, with the righteousness of youth. The thing gurgled with joy.
"Then, young thing, you may tell me yours."
Satrakian made his move then, but the silver tip of the stake made a tiny scraping noise, revealing its presence, a mere instant before it flew toward the thing's heart. But that instant was enough. The thing uncoiled its claw and stopped the weapon an inch from its own chest. Satrakian tried to free himself, striking out with the other hand, But the thing stopped that too. It lacerated the side of Satrakian's neck with the tip of its stinger, just a gash, coming as fast as a blink of an eye, enough to inject him with a paralyzing agent. Now it held the young man firmly by both hands. It raised him up from the bed.
But you will not meet God.
The thing said,
For I am personally acquainted with him, and I know him to be God.
Satrakian was on the verge of fainting from the vice-like pressure the claws exerted upon his hands, the hands that had kept him alive for so long in that camp. His brain was bursting with pain, mouth gaping, lungs gasping for breath, but no scream would surge from within. The thing looked deep into Satrakian's eyes then, and saw his soul.
Abraham Satrakian.
It purred.
A name so soft, so sweet, for a boy so full of spit.
It moved close to his face.
But why destroy me, boy? Why am I so deserving of your wrath? When around you find even more death in my absence. I'm not the monster here. It is God, your God, and mine. The absent Father who left us all so long ago. In your eyes I see what you fear most, young Abraham. And it is not me. It is the pit. So now you shall see what happens when I feed you to it. And God does nothing to stop it.
And then, with a brutal cracking noise, the thing shattered the bones in the hands of young Abraham.